Well, we're at High Northern, and we're here today to talk about Ryder. My name's Ross Cavall. I'm a junior management student.
I'm Hannah Bowen. I'm a sophomore management and marketing student.
I'm Kristen Langston. I'm a sophomore management and accounting double major.
I'm Garrett Dietrich. I'm a risk management, insurance, and management major, and I'm a freshman.
We're going to give you a brief overview. First, we're going to go over the SWOT analysis to talk about the internal and external threats about Ryder. Then we're going to talk about competitors in the industry. Then we're going to identify the problems that Ryder's having, and we're going to go over a short and long-term plan.
So looking at Ryder's strengths, first and foremost, they're a leader in the transportation and logistics industry. They offer a diverse portfolio, and they have a lot of customers and services. To name a few of many, they offer fleet management services, logistics, and transportation planning, as well as truck maintenance. Looking at weaknesses, Ryder pays drivers 9% below the industry average, and according to MarketLine, they're overly dependent on the United States market. Looking ahead for opportunities, the industry outlook is promising, especially with the rise of e-commerce and an increased demand for logistics and shipping. Some upcoming trends in the industry include outsourced logistics and autonomous technologies such as drones and autonomous vehicles. And threats for the industry include regulations, including the electronic driving laws that have been recently implemented, as well as competition in a fiercely competitive market.
So we found Ryder's top competitors to be Penske, C.H. Robinson, J.B. Hunt, FedEx, and UPS. In terms of the industry and all the services the company has to offer, we found Ryder most closely resembles Penske. They both provide global transportation management, distribution and warehouse management, and integrated fleet logistics and leasing. As for C.H. Robinson, they're a third-party logistics company, and J.B. Hunt is one of the largest logistic companies in North America. As for FedEx and UPS, they both provide hub and spokes delivery systems, with FedEx being best known for its air express freight, and UPS being best known for its domestic ground package delivery to customers and small businesses.
The problems that Ryder is currently facing, the first one being government regulations. We see this in the past with electronic logging devices. The next problem would be labor issues. Currently 25% of the truckers are over the age of 55, so we will be needing to have more workers the next coming year once they retire. And the last issue is salary. Ryder is currently paying 9% less than the industry average.
So to sum up our main problems is this quote, and this comes from a former Ryder truck driver, and that is overworked and underpaid. So in our short-term plan, we're looking to address this driver shortage and the below average salary. And so our focus in the short-term plan is to reduce costs by keeping dividends per share constant and reducing turnover rate, as well as addressing the driver shortage by looking toward a new employee market.
So as Hannah said, as part of our short-term plan, we are going to focus on reducing costs. We're going to do this by keeping the cash dividends declared for common share the same for the 2018 year. According to the 2017 financial statements for Ryder, we found that the dividend ratio was an average of 0.45. So we're going to keep it at 0.45, and we're projecting a 5% increase in profit. So this saved money that we have is going to be put towards increasing driver salaries. And this is because currently we are paying our drivers $45,500, which is 9% lower than the industry average at $50,000. So with over 7,000 drivers employed with Ryder, we found that we will need $31.5 million marginal profit to cover these costs. So as you can see here, if we keep if the net income available to common increases 5% as we projected, and we keep the cash dividends declared for common share at 0.45, we found that we will have a marginal profit of 39.6, which makes our plan to increase 9% very feasible. In addition, our plan to reducing costs involves focusing on decreasing turnover rate, which will substantially lower our hiring and training costs. And the money we save from this will also assist in paying the salary expenses if our profit does not increase our projected amount. So in the future, to maintain driver salaries at the industry average as the number of employed drivers grows within our company, the company will need to focus or take into account the increased salary expense with our net income for that year when determining the dividend ratio. And we'll also need to continue to focus on keeping that turnover rate low.
So as Ross mentioned, about 25% of the trucking population is over the age of 55. So that population is projected to retire within upcoming years. And so to address that shortage, we are looking to a new market for truck drivers, and that is the millennial market. So generally when you think of a truck driver, you don't immediately think of a millennial. So truckers demographically are typically blue collar. 95% of truck drivers are additionally male, and many of them have not had any formal education past high school. According to research done by Dr. Karen Levy, truckers very highly value independence, and so the lone wolf nature of the job appeals to them, and that they don't work directly under an immediate manager or supervisor. And finally, work-life balance is something that is important to truck drivers. According to Levy, family is among the highest priority of drivers on the road. And that work-life balance is something that is difficult to achieve for truck drivers. They're often making long trips and constantly on the road. So what does a millennial want in a career? To sum it up, it all comes down to wages and lifestyle, which I think we can attest to coming from the millennial age group. So an important part of that lifestyle is the work-life balance. Millennials are drawn to a flexible work schedule that allows them to spend time with family or friends or pursue other interests as well. So how do we reconcile the trucking culture with the millennial culture? The first way to do this, a relatively simple change, is to implement technology and services such as granting drivers services such as Spotify Premium, so they can freely listen to music of their choice as they drive. Next, as Kristen discussed, our short-term plan is projected to allow us to increase wages, which addresses one of the most important concerns to millennials, and that is money. And finally, and we think most importantly, the way to reconcile this is to look at what truck drivers and millennials both want, and that is the work-life balance. And so through cross-stocking, we can create shorter trips for drivers so they're able to get home to their families or get home to their friends or get home to pursue those other interests. And so by implementing that and investing in that and cross-stocking, we believe that we can appeal to the current truck driving market as well as to meet the wants and the needs of the millennial market, which Garrett will elaborate on in a bit.
For the long-term plan, we're going to be talking about the hauling aspect of it mostly. Going with the hauling aspect, we're going to look at the short and long-term haul. With the long haul, we're thinking about implementing autonomous vehicles. These autonomous vehicles will improve safety. As you can see, 25% of truck accidents occur on highways. This is mainly due to drivers falling asleep. So by implementing autonomous vehicles, that allow the drivers to be more safely and have the truck do more work instead of the driver doing work. We're also going to talk about the Hyperloop. The Hyperloop is an invention in the making. It's currently being tested, and testing has shown speeds over 200 miles an hour. How it works is it acts as a train in a vacuum sealed tunnel, and that's how it gets its speed. There's currently talk about trying to get it to go from like LA to New York. And so by getting this to go at that speed, the Hyperloop will be able to transport materials and people over long distances at a very fast rate.
The next portion of our long-term plan is a focus on retention. And we found that it's very important, both said in the case and through industry research. We found that it's very important first to look for this new market since, as Ross stated earlier, 25% will be leaving shortly. It's also very important that we figure out how we're going to retain those new workers, those millennials that we're targeting in our marketing plan. So the analogy that we continue to use is this analogy of a leaky cup. We don't want to continuously fill the leaky cup with water if it's leaking. So it makes sense to plug the hole before we continuously try and pump more water into the cup. And we believe that cross-docking is a great start to this. We believe that it provides a great infrastructure for the business. It allows for a two-pronged focus, both on retention and on efficiency. And it also keeps drivers closer to home, as Hannah stated earlier. It allows the drivers to stay closer to family, keeping those distances, keeping the driving miles between 200 and 250 miles, so they can get back home to see their families, friends, and pursue those other hobbies that Hannah also stated. So the actions we would recommend for continuously to improve retention are to increase the number of cross-docking hubs when appropriate. As we stated earlier, to continuously keep those driving miles as low as possible, but keeping it efficient. We also want to continuously increase salary. As we stated earlier, it is important to both groups of people, both the old market and this new millennial market, that the wages increase, since Ryder is below that 9% below the industry average.
So to sum it all up, Ryder is a very diverse company, providing 11 divisions of services and employing over 7,000 drivers. If we correctly implement our short-term and long-term plan, we expect total success in achieving our goals and solving industry issues. Thank you.